It is one of the most private questions a man can ask himself, a question whispered in the silence of his own mind, often accompanied by a confusing mix of guilt, anxiety, and doubt. Am I doing this too much? Or maybe not enough? You've heard the myths, the locker room talk that has followed you since you were a boy. On one hand, you hear that every act of self-pleasure drains you of your vital essence, that it depletes your testosterone, steals your strength, and leaves you a weaker, less potent version of yourself. A part of you fears that with every climax, you are spilling a finite resource, bringing yourself one step closer to an empty tank. And yet, you hear the other side. The urgent warning to use it or lose it. The fear that if you don't keep the machinery running, it will rust over and shut down for good. A part of you believes that you must force the issue, to prove to yourself that the fire is still burning, that the plumbing still works. And so you are trapped, caught in a vicious crossfire of myth and misinformation. You feel guilty if you do it, and anxious if you don't. This confusion creates a deep, unsettling stress. A stress that you carry with you into the bedroom. A stress that sabotages your confidence and poisons your intimacy. You live in a constant state of second-guessing the most natural and fundamental part of your own biology. What if I told you that both of those myths are dangerously wrong? What if the truth about masturbation and your hormones after the age of 60 is far more surprising and far more powerful than you have ever been led to believe? What if I told you that there is a specific, scientifically proven rhythm to masturbation, a schedule that can turn this private act from a source of anxiety into a powerful tool for systematically boosting your testosterone, increasing your energy, and dramatically improving your sexual vitality? What if the secret to reclaiming your manhood wasn't about how much, but how and when? Hello, my name is Dr. Julian Hayes. I am a 71-year-old board-certified urologist, and I have been a student of the male body for 43 years. I have spent my entire professional life helping men navigate the complex and often emotionally charged landscape of their own health. And I can tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, that the confusion surrounding this one topic, the frequency of masturbation, is one of the greatest unspoken sources of stress and dysfunction in men over 60. The old myths, the locker room talk, have done you a terrible disservice. They have replaced wisdom with worry and science with shame. Today, we are going to end the confusion. We are going to turn on the lights and banish the shadows. I'm going to pull back the curtain on the surprising data-driven truth about how your masturbation habits directly impact your testosterone levels. I will debunk the dangerous myths that have held you captive. And most importantly, I will give you a clear, simple, and powerful protocol, a specific schedule that you can follow starting today to optimize your hormones, maximize your vitality, and finally, find peace and confidence in your own private sexual health. Stay with me, because you are about to become the master of your own rhythm. And in doing so, you will unlock a level of energy and confidence you thought was lost to the history books. Before we can discover the optimal frequency, we must first confront and dismantle the two great myths that have been at war inside your head for decades. We must understand why they are both partially true and therefore completely wrong. Let's start with the first and most ancient myth, the myth of depletion. This is the idea that with every ejaculation, you are losing a vital part of yourself, that your semen is a complex substance, rich in specific nutrients. Most notably, it is incredibly rich in the mineral zinc. Zinc, as we know, is the absolute master mineral for the production of testosterone. Your testicles cannot create testosterone without an abundant supply of zinc. Semen is also rich in neurotransmitter precursors, the building blocks for brain chemicals like dopamine, which governs motivation and drive. When a man masturbates to orgasm multiple times a day, or even every single day, especially if his diet is not perfect, he can begin to create a real, measurable nutrient deficit. He's spending these precious resources faster than his body can replenish them. This can lead to a state of what I call post-ejaculatory fatigue. The man feels tired, unmotivated, and foggy. And because his zinc levels are being constantly depleted, his body's ability to produce robust levels of testosterone can in fact be compromised. I had a patient, a 68-year-old retired widower named Frank. He came to my office complaining of profound fatigue. He said he had no energy to go to the gym, no motivation to work on his hobbies. He felt like a ghost in his own life. After taking a full history, Frank admitted, with some embarrassment, that he had fallen into a habit of masturbating 2 or 3 times a day, mostly out of boredom and loneliness. He didn't think it was a problem. I explained to Frank that he had created a nutritional crisis in his own body. He was constantly draining his reserves of zinc, magnesium, and other vital nutrients. His body was in a state of perpetual recovery with no resources left over for energy or hormonal production. His seemingly harmless habit was the direct cause of the vitality crisis he was experiencing. So, the myth of depletion is not entirely false. Excessive frequency can be harmful. But this leads us directly to the second great myth, which is equally dangerous. The myth of use it or lose it. This is the fear-based belief that if you do not engage in regular sexual activity or masturbation, your penis will atrophy, your erections will disappear, and your sexual function will shut down for good. This drives men to engage in what I call maintenance masturbation. They are not masturbating out of a genuine sense of arousal or desire, but out of a sense of anxious duty, a fearful need to prove to themselves that the machinery still works. This is a catastrophic mistake. Because when you force yourself to perform sexually without genuine organic desire, you are creating a state of profound stress in your body. Your mind is trying to force an outcome that your body is not ready for. This triggers the release of the stress hormone, cortisol. As we have talked about many times, cortisol is the mortal enemy of testosterone and erections. It causes your blood vessels to constrict. It puts your body in a state of fight or flight. I had another patient, a 73-year-old man named Bill. His wife had recently passed away and he was terrified of losing his sexual function completely. He had read an article online that said he needed to masturbate at least 3 times a week to keep things working. He told me, "Doc, most of the time I have zero desire, but I make myself do it. I have to work at it. I have to really focus. It feels like a chore. And honestly, I think it's making things worse." It was making things worse. By forcing the issue, he was creating a state of profound stress in his body. His mind was trying to force an outcome that his body was not ready for.
So now you see the trap. You are caught between the Scylla and the Charybdis. You are afraid of doing it too much for fear of depletion, and you are afraid of doing it too little for fear of atrophy. It is a perfect recipe for anxiety, confusion, and dysfunction. But what if there was a third way? A path of wisdom, not worry. What if the secret was not about finding a single magic number, but about embracing a natural, biological rhythm? A rhythm that allows you to build up your power and then to express it. A rhythm that is based not on myth, but on hard science. It is time to learn the secret of the 7-day cycle. If you are finding this information valuable, please take a moment to comment the word yes below, just so I know you are getting this. Thank you for your valuable time. Now, let's get to the science. Let's find the solution. The answer to this profound question, the key that unlocks the prison of confusion, comes from a fascinating and often misinterpreted scientific study. In this study, researchers measured the testosterone levels of a group of men over a period of abstinence. What they found was remarkable. For the first 6 days of abstinence, the men's testosterone levels began to steadily rise. Their bodies, no longer spending resources on producing semen, were diverting those resources into hormonal production. Then on the 7th day, something amazing happened. Their testosterone levels spiked, reaching a peak of nearly 150% of their baseline level. This was a massive natural surge in their primary male hormone. But then, after day 7, if they continued to abstain, their testosterone levels began to slowly decline again, returning back to their baseline. What does this tell us? It reveals a powerful hidden rhythm in the male body. It shows us that the body is designed to build and store its power over a period of time, reaching a hormonal peak around the 1-week mark. This discovery is the key to everything. It gives us a blueprint for how to schedule our sexual activity, including masturbation, to work with our body's natural hormonal cycles, not against them. It gives us what I call the pro-testosterone protocol. This protocol is not about a rigid, dogmatic number. It is about learning to listen to your body and to ride its natural waves of hormonal power. For most men over 60, this rhythm settles into a cycle that is approximately 1 week long. Here is how it works. Phase 1, the accumulation phase, days 1 through 6. This is the period of strategic abstinence. For approximately 6 days following an ejaculation, I want you to give your body a rest. This is not a period of deprivation. It is a period of accumulation, a period of power building. During this time, your body is doing several incredible things. First, it is replenishing its stores of vital nutrients. Your zinc levels are coming back up. Your magnesium is being restored. You're rebuilding your nutritional foundation. Second, your testicles are getting a powerful signal to ramp up production. Your brain releases more luteinizing hormone, which is the chemical messenger that tells your Leydig cells to get to work making testosterone. Third, your androgen receptors, the little docking stations on your cells that allow testosterone to work, are becoming more sensitive. So not only are you making more testosterone, you are also becoming more sensitive to the testosterone you have. I explained this concept to Frank, the man who was masturbating multiple times a day out of boredom. I asked him to try the protocol, to go 1 full week without any form of sexual release. He was resistant at first. He was afraid of what he would feel. He came back to see me 2 weeks later. He said, "Doc, it was amazing. The first couple of days were a little tough, but then around day 3 or 4, something shifted. I started to feel different. I had more energy, I was thinking more clearly, I actually felt like getting up and going for a walk. I felt a sense of power building inside me, a sense of vitality I haven't felt in years." Frank was experiencing the magic of the accumulation phase. He had stopped draining his tank, and for the first time in a long time, he was feeling what it was like to have a full reservoir of masculine energy. Phase 2, the peak expression, day 7. Around the 7th day, you will reach your hormonal peak. Your testosterone levels are at their highest. Your androgen receptors are at their most sensitive. Your body is primed for a powerful sexual experience. This is the optimal time for a sexual release, either with a partner or through masturbation. This is not the maintenance masturbation that Bill was practicing out of fear. This is an act of powerful peak expression. It is driven by a genuine, hormonally fueled desire. The experience itself is often profoundly different. The arousal is stronger, the erection is firmer, the climax is more intense. But something else is happening on a physiological level. By ejaculating at the peak of your hormonal cycle, You are sending a powerful signal back to your brain and your testicles. You are telling the system, thank you, the power has been used. Now let's do it again. This act of peak expression serves as a reset button for the entire system. It prevents the body from entering the slow decline that happens with prolonged abstinence. It keeps the cycle dynamic, vibrant, and healthy. It is the perfect union of building power and then expressing power. Phase 3, the rest and reset. Following the ejaculation on or around day 7, the cycle begins anew. You enter another accumulation phase. This is not a rigid mathematical formula. You must learn to listen to your body. For some men, the optimal cycle might be 5 days. For others, it might be 8. The 7th day is a powerful average, a great starting point. But the principle is the same: a period of accumulation followed by an act of peak expression. When I explained this to Bill, the man who was forcing himself to masturbate 3 times a week, it was like a massive weight had been lifted from his shoulders. I told him, Bill, you have permission to rest. You have permission to not want to be sexual every day. Your body needs time to recharge, stop fighting it, and start working with it. He embraced the protocol. He let go of the fear of losing it. He started to pay attention to his own internal signals of desire. He found that his natural desire would peak around the 6 or 7 day mark. He said the difference was night and day. His solo sessions became acts of genuine pleasure, not anxious chores. And his confidence in the bedroom soared because he was now initiating intimacy when he was at his hormonal peak, not when he was at his lowest point. He had escaped the prison of the myths. He was free. Now you possess the secret knowledge that has been hidden from you by decades of myth and misinformation. You understand the dangerous trap of the 2 great lies, the myth of depletion and the myth of use it or lose it. And you now have the solution, the pro-testosterone protocol, the wisdom of the 7-day cycle. You understand that the secret is not about a number, but about a rhythm. The rhythm of accumulation and expression. The rhythm of building your power and then using it at its peak. You have a clear 3-phase plan to work with your body, not against it. I want you to take a moment and imagine a life free from the guilt, the shame, and the confusion that has surrounded this topic for you for so long. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of calm confidence, knowing that you are following a plan that is scientifically designed to optimize your masculine vitality. Imagine feeling that slow, steady build of energy and drive during your accumulation phase, a sense of power returning to your body and your mind. Imagine the freedom of letting go of the need to perform and instead embracing the wisdom of your own natural desires. And imagine the profound confidence you will feel when you are with your partner, knowing that you are coming to her at your absolute peak, ready, willing, and powerfully able to be the generous, vital, and attentive lover you have always wanted to be. This is not a fantasy. This is the reality that is available to you once you decide to let go of the myths and embrace the rhythm. Now that you know the optimal frequency for masturbation to boost your testosterone, it is absolutely essential that you learn about the 5 dangerous masturbation techniques that can cause physical harm and nerve damage to your penis. I expose these dangerous habits in my next video, and you must watch it now. But before you go, I want you to make a commitment to yourself, a commitment to end the confusion. In the comments section below, I want you to write down, I will trust my rhythm. Just those 4 powerful words. This is your declaration of freedom from the myths. This is your promise to yourself to stop fighting your body and to start listening to it. By writing it down, you are joining a community of thousands of men who are choosing wisdom over worry. You are not alone on this journey. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your trust. Now go and find your rhythm.